Because when I see a one sheet in my inbox, plus a video, plus a LinkedIn profile, I know that the guest is going to be prepared, professional, and respectful of my audience's time. This mini-series has been a ton of fun for me to create because I know how much value there is for it. You, the listeners who jump on the other side of the microphone with me as a podcast guest, right? Welcome back, everyone. My name is Vincent A. Lanci, and we are diving straight into the deep end today. The feedback from the last solo episode was incredible. Thank you so much. It means a lot that you are starting to realize that you don't need your own microphone and mixing board and everything in between to start dominating the airwaves. No worries if you missed the first part. I dropped the link in the episode description below because in part 1, we talked about the heavy hitters, audience growth, authority, SEO. But today, we're peeling back the curtain even further, and I've identified 5 more benefits that most people completely overlook when they're booking their guest spots. And of course, these are the hidden ROI factors that can change your business behind the scenes. ROI is not just financial gain. There are so many amazing things that come from putting yourself out there in the marketing way that has overtaken traditional print and TV ads and all of these things. Podcasting, guest appearances is how to get your message out. So buckle up. This is part 2 of the podcast guesting series. Again, the link is dropped in the episode description to part 1. And be sure to head to comingalivepodcastproduction.com to get your journey started today as a podcast guest or host. But I am trying to provide you with as much value as possible. So let's get into it. 5 hidden benefits of podcast guesting. The first one I call the message lab. It's for refining your pitch. So before you spend $10,000 on a keynote presentation or a sales page, you need to know if your message lands. Podcast guesting is the ultimate R&D, research and development lab. Why the benefit? When you tell a story on 3 different podcasts and notice that all 3 hosts stop and say, "Wow, tell me more about that," you've just found your hook. Now the result, it's free market research. You're learning in real time which of your anecdotes resonate and which ones fall flat before you take them to a bigger, more expensive stage. Next up, high-level content repurposing for your own feed, right? Not just the podcast that you were just on. In part 1 of this bonus series, I mentioned how the host does the heavy lifting. That's me most of the time. But here's the secret. You get to keep the treasure. So what do I mean by that? What could be the benefit? You now have high quality audio and maybe video too, depending on your series, of you looking like an expert, with you, the talking point, the whole focus. Now, the result of that is you could take an episode and chop it into countless clips, right? You don't need to have 2-minute, 3-minute preview social media clips for everything, right? You can chop this into LinkedIn clips, Instagram reels, blog posts, posts for all your social medias, and schedule it. With one guest appearance, you've just fueled your entire social media calendar for as long as you can chop and screw and find uniqueness in each post. A software I use is Riverside. I have a discount in the affiliate section on vincentalanci.com. Feel free to give that a try, where they help you make reels. I mean, there's a whole lot of services out there. But remember, you just fueled not only your social media calendar, but video clips for business outreach, right? All of these different things you can do with a preview clip of something you said on that show, all using someone else's production budget, who the host is. The next tip I'll share is borrowed social proof. This is that as seen on factor. Authority isn't just about what you say, it is about who you're seen with. What could be the benefit of that? When you appear on an established show, you are in the right to put that podcast's logo on your website in an as seen on banner. And with your credibility being built from being on shows, right? I'm very grateful for that Entrepreneur show being top 2.5% globally ranked. A mental health break, top 5%. This gives a great reach and recognition for each guest, and I love to play a small part in helping them get their message boosted on a larger scale. But even on a newer podcast, you are still the focal point, right? You have great content, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour, you name it, where you can remix and chop and screw this content to make countless social media products. If you do a few guest appearances and you had maybe one or two scheduled a week, with just those few appearances, you have an entire year of content. So don't forget the value of investing in a high quality podcast guest appearance or more, right? It's super important. And I always use the McDonald's example where I'm a 90s baby, right? Happy Meals and the likes, Big Macs, where how many times do I drive past McDonald's now before I'm finally giving in, right? I'm finally so tired. I don't want to cook nothing. Will I give in, right? That recognition, that impressions rule where how many times do you see something before you do it, right? You want people to consider you that go-to expert as they have now perceived you as the authority expert because of your consistent appearances on podcast shows. And this result is, again, it's an incredibly powerful and instant booster. When a potential client visits your site and sees the logos of top-tier shows, the trust gap disappears pretty instantly. You aren't just a voice, you're now a vetted expert. We've talked about the message lab where we refine our pitch. High-level content repurposing for us after someone else, a host, they were kind enough to bring us on. They did the heavy lifting. Now we have the fruits of our labor. We just touched on that as seen on factor. So now I want to talk about something that's very underspoken about, and I talk a lot about on a mental health break, overcoming the isolation of entrepreneurship. Let's be real. Being a business owner can be lonely. What could possibly be a benefit, you may be asking, Vincent? Well, guesting is a social lubricant. It forces you out of your bubble and into a high-level conversation with another mover and shaker in your industry, right? Where not only entrepreneurs go on podcasts, but if you are on podcasts, chances are you're at least managing some sort of personal brand. Right? Having these conversations helps me so much as an entrepreneur where I'm very grateful that I took that chance back in 2019, launched a podcast because I never knew it would turn into a career, right? Something I love to do. I get to do a few times a day, several times per week, but the result of going on these guest appearances is you're now seeing guest spots turn into potential, right? Take notes here. If you're smart, lean into referral partnerships where the host starts sending their high-ticket clients to the guest because they spent some time vibing on air. You cannot get that from a cold email, and if you do a good job on my shows, I often will tell you, hey, reach back out in 6 months. That impressions rule I talked about, I want to play a very small part in helping people get the attention they deserve. You working with the host is a magnificent thing and something I don't work with enough guests on, right? Just have the courage to bring up and ask, hey, this is what I'm doing. You learn more about me. Can you keep an ear out for me? Or have that courage take one step further. Hey, can I share an affiliate link with you? So if people click the link, you're going to get paid for helping me. I know most of the time people don't help for the affiliate money, right? But it's something that is appreciated. Find a way to position yourself as an expert, work out a relationship with your host, and then from there, the sky's the limit. Because again, you can't get that from a cold email. And next up, the fifth tool, shortcutting the sales funnel. Huh. If you're like me, you wish there was ways to do that. But remember, people buy from those they know, like, and trust. They buy from people. They don't buy it, whatever that may be, a product or service. Now, the benefit here is usually a lead has seen your ad 7 to 10 times before they buy. Wink, wink, that impressions rule again. But if they listen to you for 40 minutes on their favorite podcast, oh my goodness. Again, the sky's the limit. My quote is, it only takes one. My motto, one sales call, networking event, meeting, recording, book signing, you name it. One person that you meet can be the connection you need to change your life. And this result is because you've now bypassed the know and like phases and jumped straight into trust. A podcast guest spot is essentially a warm lead generator. And again, these 5 tools are super important. Please go back to the first episode of this series in the description so you can get started with what I shared, because it's all important. And please, of course, remember to subscribe to stay current so you don't miss awesome bonus shows like this. But of course, the courageous and powerful guests that come your way each week. For over 6 years, 6.5 years. We're on year 7, right? That's crazy. But now I promised you some more tips on how to get on these shows. If you want to look like a professional, you got to have a podcast one sheet. So this is essentially your resume, but also we talked about some tools on the first show. That video, create the video, invest the time. It will not take you more than 10 minutes to create a few minute video. It might not go perfect the first time, so that 10 minutes is to update it. But I don't take guest requests with just the one sheet, right? I need at minimum the one sheet and LinkedIn profile. I need to see if they're being authentic in what they say and their experience can back it up, right? On that Entrepreneur show, we have founders of at least 7 years, 10 years, because I learned how many lessons learned I didn't have until I kept going, right? Most businesses don't make it a couple years, so I've got to keep that in mind. It is a way to protect the integrity and authenticity of your show. You owe your listeners a certain amount of value and expertise. So please remember that you will stand out with the video. You can get added to shows, especially the newer shows with less than a video. But please, if you're going to a business show, one sheet, video, LinkedIn profile, right? Make the host job easy. In the section that you're talking about, maybe give them 5 questions they can ask you, right? I've shared my podcast information sheet where once you're onboarded, I also swing back around before I schedule you. Hey, what are areas you can add value to? What are some things you want to talk about? And then, of course, depending on the show setup, some shows have the guest info on their website. Some have them in the description of the episode. But make sure you share your contact info and social links. Again, that's on my podcast information sheets. But however your process is as a host, make sure you do it. As a guest, make sure you give it to them if they don't ask. Because when I see a one sheet in my inbox, plus a video, plus a LinkedIn profile, I know that the guest is going to be prepared, professional, and respectful of my audience's time. We're now, before they even get going in that pre-qualification process, will you listen to the show before? So you know how it feels, right? Will you share it when it goes live? Things that must happen, and I neglected on a whopping percentage of my shows, but we've covered a lot today. Remember to subscribe to stay current, please, and share this with someone who would find value in getting outside of their shell to guest appearances that are aired around the world. From using your podcast as your message lab to leveraging that as seen on social proof, these opportunities are sitting right there. You have to listen to episode 1 of this series to learn all the tips I shared to find them, but you just have to take the chance, reach out and grab them. And you may be sitting there thinking, hey, Vince, I've got the message. I don't have a one sheet or a strategy. Let's talk, right? Book a discovery call, timewithvincent.com, right? I'll give you a free call just to help you get your mindset. We do offer the services, of course, at Coming Alive Podcast Production, where we make one sheets. We place you on guest appearances, whether 1, 5, 10, or 20. And just as a thank you for checking this episode out, if you want a free chapter to my book, I Want to Start a Podcast, I'll send you the ebook, the free chapter. We've got you covered. Email Danica at podcasts@gmail.com. My name is Vincent A. Lanci. Start guesting, start growing, and I'll see you all on the next episode here on my favorite times a week when I get to sit down, record, and connect with this amazing audience. Thank you for being a loyal listener. See you soon. Thank you for tuning in to another episode. I would love to hear your feedback. What did you love? What do you want to see more of? Are there any questions you would like me to ask the guests who come on the show? This show is not possible without you, the amazing listeners, so please email us at podcastsbylanci@gmail.com and let us know what you think. We'll also feature you on a later show. Please remember to subscribe to stay current with our amazing community of guests who will continue to come on the show, sprinkled in with solo episodes from me, Vincent A. Lanci. With that, I look forward to introducing more shows to you each and every week. And with that, we're signing off today. Enjoy the episodes and make it a great day ahead.